If you don't have anything 2 to 3 million, enough bandwidth to exit, don't think about it. Ismail, you bought this semi-detached. In front is a junction. Even though I had a bungalow, we choose to shift and stay in the semi-detached for 10 years. You buy at a lower price. But when you sell, you also sell at a lower price.
Welcome back to part 2, and we have Mr. Ismail again, squeezing out whatever I can squeeze out from him, all the inspiration and the questions that I wanted to ask him, but I feel that if you only tell me alone, one person, a bit wasted. Because there's so many of you out there that are inspired by, that want to buy a landed, but there's a lot of concern over there. So tapping into the real life case study will give you more inspiration as opposed to watching another podcast that agent is trying to sell you something. Right? So today we have again Mr. Ismail. And if you ever watched the previous video that talks about his journey from his first HDB all the way until his landed and all these things, please go and watch it. It's quite a long video, but trust me, it's going to be worth your time. And you can watch at 1.25 if you want. So today, right, what we're going to talk about is when you're buying a landed property, what should you be looking out for? Because personally, I bought a landed property that is, people tell me don't buy because of the road, all these things. And Mr. Ismail also has a very unique story because if you watch the previous video, he actually owned a condo and a landed, but he chose to stay in a one-bedroom studio apartment and rent out the landed. And the first house I went to he's also very inspiring, was actually
Hillcrest.
Yeah, and I don't want to talk about it. I will let Mr. Ismail do the talking. And and from here, at the end of this video, we'll share with you what are the specifics to take note. Because a lot of people, when they buy house, they always say, oh, this is important, that is important. Actually, it's a multiple factors that forms whether it's investable or not. And today, we are so lucky. And before we go on, please like this video, right? Because it's going to help us a great deal. It shows that you enjoy watching this kind of content. And let me know inside the comments what are more questions that you want to know about after watching the first video. And yes,
more than happy to. I mean, I'm very mindful that your voice is still not at its best. So I will do a little bit more talking just to give him that luxury to not strain his vocal cords. I mean, he has been he went for a minor surgery, is it?
Yeah.
But I think things are so much better now. But please take care, drink more honey.
Now no pain.
Okay, no pain. That's good. That's good. Okay, so we were talking about landed the last episode, and we are just going to continue, and maybe I will just give some of the pointers to look out for. You see, when you talk about landed, there are two fundamental differences you need to understand, in my view. These are very broad. 99-year leasehold versus 999 and freehold. To me, whether it's 999 and freehold is okay. Because if 999, if there's 800 over years, my goodness, it's okay. I mean, how many generations? I don't know, 20 generations or 50 years was also...
Global warming.
Yeah, so I'm not so worried about that.
Global warming.
Yeah, but 99, there is a difference. Okay, there is a difference. Okay, so this is an concern. Okay, to give you in a most shocking way, a leasehold, let me explain. If you realize in year 2020 or 21, 140 over, but I'm quite sure more than 100 over was covered in the media. Probably we can even get the article to put there. And Geylang, where their 60-year lease to all the landed properties expired, and the government asked them to leave and vacate. So what happened here is this. 60 years ago, I don't know the price, assuming they bought it at $10,000, the inter-terrace house, or maybe lesser, doesn't matter. What am I trying to say? That same 60 years ago, 2-3 kilometers away, either at Pai Lebar or Lorong Melayu, if another person bought a freehold property then 60 years ago, if the people who bought it at 10, that one would be 12,000. I'm talking about 10,000, 12,000, only 20% different. But what happened was, after 60 years, these people have to surrender the land, zero value. But 60 years after, if you want to go back to Lorong Melayu or Lorong Maidi near Kembangan, a freehold, same size, today you're talking about $4 million. So what does it mean? A leasehold is a lease that will expire. A 999 and a freehold is valuable as a legacy planning. So for landed, I always look for 999 or freehold as a first instance. Then does that mean all the 99-year-old landed all in trouble? Not really, because the price quantum is different, but you just need to be mindful of the limitation and enter an exit strategy. So if you're buying a landed that is got 90 plus years, you still have got another, let's say 70 over years, you sell,
And
you will still make
and
money.
it serves your needs.
Serves
at
your
this point.
needs because you have the space.
Yeah.
Yep. And there are people who bought a
still a good-
99 and still have appreciated.
It's still a short term,
Yeah.
not a bad mid to long term,
Exactly.
but definitely not to hold forever.
Not a legacy plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only. So you need to be mindful only. So this is the first difference that I want to talk about. Whether 99, 999 or freehold. If you have the means, go direct into 999 or freehold. But if it is not, if you go to 99, be mindful of the balance list. Whether do you have enough bandwidth to exit so that you will not lose so much, but you have appreciated, and then upgrade to a freehold or a bigger lender.
And ideally, don't rebuild.
Yeah. Okay, so this is the first part.
Yep.
These two. The second one that I would like to talk about landed here is this: cluster landed versus landed. Okay, there is a difference. Cluster landed means a group of landed property that are clustered together, and usually cluster landed come with some common facilities. It could be a gym, or it could be a small swimming pool, it could be a tennis court, or it could be very bare as just a playground and a common car park and shared facilities. The disadvantage of a strata landed is you are still subjected to strata rules, which mean to say you still have to maintain the common space. If you want to do a sell on en bloc, yes, you still need to go through the approval of the 80% of the owners. Then external facade is subjected to the committees and MCSTs and so on. So it's almost like a condo, but it's in a landed living. Okay, so there are some limitation in the capital appreciation. It does appreciate, but it doesn't appreciate as much as a landed, which has got all its freedom. You can build, you can tear it down, you can put what within the guidelines again. So this is the two difference. So if somebody asks me a question, is it okay to buy strata landed versus this? Is okay, but you just need to be aware of the limitations. But on the other hand, some of the good strata landed, the rental yields are better. Because from a tenant perspective, he is short term. He don't care about legacy planning.
It's like a resort.
It's a resort for him. Yeah, he got swimming pool, he got a clubhouse.
It's a duplex.
And yet he got a landed feel. So he prefer that. So he's prepared to pay a higher rental compared to just a landed. But a capital appreciation, a landed. So these are the two major fundamentals you need to understand. Earlier, Marcus did ask,
why you never stay in the Semi-D? Then you got
okay.
one bungalow, one Semi-D, you choose to stay in the Semi-D, you rent out the bungalow.
No. It's all by needs.
Yes.
It's all by needs only. It's not because it's right or wrong. I mean, the first time that I told you after I sold an inter-terrace, we bought a Semi-E and I bought a studio apartment.
Yes.
We choose to stay in the studio apartment because we were still loving couple. We don't have children. I don't want to go and every day clean the house. And Mandarin Garden and all the beautiful facilities from a clubhouse, literally a resort.
the beach.
Yeah, it's a resort. Yep. So we choose to stay here. And I knew that the semi-detached was a good rental. I let it be. Okay, that was the only reason. Not because we didn't want to. Subsequently, we had a bungalow that I mentioned, right? In 2005, we bought for 2.8 million at the eastern part of Singapore. I also rented that out because my children at that time was very young. And then my daughter was going to RGPS. And then I realized, even if I stay in the eastern part, I need to travel all the way. And that's where it prompted us to buy from less than 150 meters from the school side gate at Hillcrest Road. We bought a semi-detached and we choose to shift and stay in the semi-detached for 10 years. Even though I had a bungalow, I rented the bungalow for the 10 years. Better rental yield. I mean, people were renting it out throughout without a break, and I was so happy. And it helps me to pay my installment, the bulk of it, I must say. And I stay in the semi-detached because my daughter can wake up later and walk.
And eat together.
Yes.
Spend
and she
time.
can come back. So it's a quality of life.
Yep.
But there were also people then ask, hey, Ismail, you bought this semi-detached In front is a junction.
Junction.
Yeah. I mean, ideally, I would suggest if you can avoid a junction, good. If you can avoid a main heavy road with traffic, is better. Because these are all in. But on the other
One
hand,
more thing.
yeah,
Bus stop.
bus stop.
My previous house in front is a bus stop.
Yeah.
So my friend always say that, hey, good like your house when raining, then you're not home yet, we can sit in the bus stop and wait.
The shelter.
Making fun of me or what?
Yeah. So I mean, if you can avoid all these things because of the investment quantum, is the demand will be higher.
Yep.
But on the other hand, all such these houses you buy at a lower price. But when you sell, you also sell at a lower price. But it doesn't mean never make a profit. You see, I bought my semi-D 2.85 million. More than my bungalow.
CCR.
Because it's CCR, you are right. Almost half the size only, 3,000 plus only. Yep. But today, even though it's at a junction, it's still facing the junction. If I just shout at,
No.
let's say,
9.
I just say 6 million, will people buy?
Semi.
Yeah, everybody will buy, right? So
The
there's...
rundown ones now they're asking 8 plus.
Yeah.
And nobody want to sell below 8.
Yeah, no. Anyway, I'm happy to sell even below 8, but I'm not interested, not wanting to sell now. I'm just saying that. But what am I trying to say? But I bought 2.85, 2008 is only 16
not even 20
years
years ago.
It's 16 years. So that's why you see, then people ask, you bought at a junction.
And that time he was already, I already joined 2008.
8.
I haven't joined Propnex. I just joined the prop industry.
Mm.
But 2013, I went to your house.
Yeah, because I used to have the Chinese New Year, Luah and Lion
It was
Dance.
already 7,000 registered.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's more about practical.
You could even easily bought somewhere.
No lah, I mean, but I was focused in running the company more importantly. And I bought these only for one reason. My daughter's school. Yep. So that we all will have a more quality life.
Go office also very near.
Yeah, so
And that's why you always tap out the Nasi Lemak.
Oh yeah, exactly. Edinburgh Nasi Lemak, yes.
And when I go there, they say, hey, your boss, morning own stuff come and buy one. Why never ask the PA come and buy?
Yeah.
You say tender living care.
Yeah. No, because I know the owners of, I like to buy the Adam Road Nasi Lemak, the Selera Nasi Lemak, which is really popular. I used to buy 100 packet, 130 packet. And you know what I used to tell them? The Nasi Lemak is really expensive because
the CEO get.
Not only that, the Nasi Lemak is put in a bendy cart to bring back to the office, and my staff come down and carry 100 old packets and we give it to all the staff at the morning parade and so on. No, I'm just saying that. So it is not about sometimes the status, right? It is about needs basis. Yeah. So I'm just happy. So we are coming back to the landed property, right? So we did say that ideally buy in a good location, but on the other hand, properties that are not so ideal, but if the surrounding amenities are right, at a lower budget, you can enter. Yeah.
Actually, I'm thankful because that's why I think that having people ahead that will give you wisdom that they experienced before, right, is important. Because I remember when I bought my first corner terrace, I sold 3 of my properties to buy that one. So I also called Mr. Ismail. I said, boss, you want bus stop? He said, send me the address. He see Google Map. He said, wow, how much you paying? I said, then I told him the price. Then he said, you just accept lah. You face bus stop. Next time, you sell lower lah. But now today, are you buying lower? I said, a lot lower. Like. Then the price that I paid can only buy maybe Bukit Batok, Semi-D. Looking at CCR, face bus stop. It was CCR. CCR face bus stop, corner terrace. CCR at the same price as Bukit Batok. Then Mr. Ismail say, go lah, can lah.
Yeah. But I still appreciate it when you exit. In just how many years only you stayed there?
2.5 years.
Yeah, you see, about 3 years. So that's the point. So it's perfectly okay.
As long as the price is right.
Yeah, entry. So that's where you need to know you don't overpay for properties that are not in good attributes.
Yes.
Fair price.
And it suits your needs.
Yeah.
Because mine was within 1 km to Henry Park. So I knew there would be people there's reasonable amount of income, but they cannot touch the non-road facing one that cost 6 over million. They're happy with 5 over million. And I knew that you just need to be a little bit more patient when you're exiting.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're right. Okay, so this is something that we talked about a little bit about the landlord, right? Okay, let me just give a little bit more tips. If you, on a tight budget, buying a landed, which means you have stretched yourself, then make sure the house that you see, the basic requirements and the rooms are all there. Because today, renovation cost is not cheap. Okay, it's not really cheap. Just renovation. I never even say a major A&A. So that's the second. Third is demolish and build. That one you go flat lah. Yeah. So you have got 3 requirements, right? Three options, right? You buy a landed, you do minor renovation because it suits your needs.
Yep.
Because basically, if your needs here is this, your parents are coming. Make sure ground floor, there is a room. There is a room.
Yeah.
Or if they don't have a room, make sure there's a lift that can bring the parents to the second or third floor, whichever you live.
Usually that budget cannot afford.
Yeah. So depending. Yeah. So you need a room downstairs for your mates to have space. You have a living dining. You have a second floor. They got 3 rooms, and then you got en suites for yourself. So what? That basic. That means you cannot go and touch your structure. You cannot go and touch your roof repair. All these things must be intact. What you can do, set a budget, maybe 200,000 to say change the kitchen a bit, or toilet, or whatever. So that makes sense. Okay? So you must know your budget. You cannot overstretch, then you're not able to do good to the house for you to be comfortable. Option 2, you say, okay, you have a budget. No problem. I have got about $500,000 to $1 million to redo a bit A&A. That means I want to add on a bit of a space on the attic, or maybe extend the kitchen or the front or the back or whatever it is. Or for that matter, you want to add on, maybe even if the design allow, incorporate a lift, which in the future will appreciate hugely.
Yes.
Yep. So if you have a budget other than buying the house at an excess of $500,000 to $1 million, first condition, the house, the structure must still be there. Okay, that suits your needs. You can only do minor. Third option, you're not interested about the house condition. You're only buying the location, the size of the land, and the facing, and you know this is what you want. You're going to demolish and rebuild. Trust me, if you don't have anything 2 to 3 million, don't think about it. Don't think about it.
You need another place to stay.
Yeah.
Because the mortgage is still servicing.
Yeah. And
during
it will take about 2 years.
Yeah.
Though they say 18 months, by the time your TOP, CSC, 2
renovation.
years. Yep. But it's okay. There are people who can have the ability.
Yes.
Yeah. Because assuming they are right sizing from, upgrading from a semi-detached, they have sold and whatever. So, but you must know these things. Don't think that I buy a single story and I will upgrade it to a 2.5 stories, no work. Because the minute you buy a single story and that single story was built 50 years ago, the foundation, the piling, all no more applicable to build on it. You have to demolish.
And maximum increment on the GFA is 50%.
Yeah. So there are some limitations. We don't go into the technicalities.
Yes.
But broadly speaking, you need to be aware of your budget and your needs, whether it suits, and go and look out. It will be so fun looking at a landed property. One more thing. I would suggest landed property, don't go and take a look at night. Yeah, condo can. Condo, HDB can.
Yeah.
Because you know why? Generally, the block or the thing is the same. Yep. But landed, you don't know your next door neighbor got tapekong, or is it dilapidated, or I don't know. You must have a good feel in the daytime.
Both.
Yep.
Both also?
Which one?
Both at night and day.
Oh, yeah. You can have a feel. You can have no, but day will be good enough. A day is compulsory.
True, because sometimes if you see the unit, you want to arrange for night viewing, somebody take already.
The night is okay. Night you don't see is okay because you can visualize. But you go and see at night a landed property and trying to visualize the day when your eyes is blinded, you don't know the surrounding, is a danger. Yeah. But usually people will look at landed daytime. Yeah. I mean, small tip, not so important, but on the other hand, it can be critical.
I think today's session is meant to be pinpoint on to certain thing, which is to tap into the thought process of Mr. Ismail and get the tips from him when you are deciding whether to buy or already making a decision over there. So there are so many things that we can talk about, and we cannot make the video too long. So if you have any questions, make sure if you have any questions, feel free to leave that in the comments. And if there's enough requests, we can either get Mr. Ismail's reply, and then I can type that in the comments, or we can even invite them, Mr. Ismail back, or even another speaker to come
touch on
in
those
to add
concerned
on
topics.
to more, because thankfully I get access to a lot of owners of landed properties. But with your contribution, it's easier for us to benefit more people with all your questions over there. So Mr. Ismail, before we end, is there any last tips?
I think just as you talked about it, I'm going to give you a recommendation. Provided at least, I don't know, I think at least close to 50, but I'll let you make the call because it's your channel.
Okay.
At least close to 50 people ask more about landed.
Type more about landed.
No. You type there in the landed to say that how much will it cost to do an A&A or a reconstruction. If that is a concern, you type that. You should bring in a professional, either an architect or a builder. We know of very good contacts who can explain what are the processes to look out for.
Yes.
That will be another informative.
50,
Yeah, at least about 50, because to bring such people, sometimes it may take their time, cost money or whatever, but at least we can give a little bit more. But if the people have got not much of an interest, then you don't need to touch on that, those topics. So basically what we are trying to say here is this to all the listeners. Thank you so much. Thank you, Marcus, for inviting me. And I'm rushing for my next meeting, but it wasn't a pleasure doing the episode 1 and episode 2 as far as the landed is concerned. And my one simple advice here is this: landed is truly a gold mine standard of investment. It is not so easy for everyone, but if you have a will and if you have the means, always do your sums. I never want to push anyone beyond your means and struggle. But on the other hand, start small. It is always okay, whether is it an inter-terrace. And people ask, where should I buy my first landed? Honest truth, it doesn't matter where. It doesn't matter whether it's Sembawang, Seletar, Bedok, Yio Chu Kang, Bukit Batok. Doesn't matter. A landed is a landed and it is limited. So you can start wherever within your budget. But make sure, keep a keen eye to look out for people like Marcus, who has walked through his own journey. He has owned a property, corner terrace. He sold and upgraded to a recent semi-D. And beautifully renovated with a basement.
No more bus stop already.
Yeah, and it's really beautiful. When I just went last week for the Chinese New Year. So he has got experience. But speak to someone who have the wealth of knowledge and the wisdom, who have gone through themselves, so that they will have a keen eye to spot and advise you and guide you along the way. So with that, all the best in your real estate journey, especially if you're looking for landed. We are here to guide you.
Like, subscribe. See you in the next one. Thank you, Mr. Ismail.
Truly
Thank
my
you.
pleasure.
Thank you, boss.
Okay.